Don't let JD root things.
Hi!
It's a Mojo. Hey Mojo, could you explain your railway blueprint?
But one mission
Everything
blueprint?
Factorio.
Explain yourself.
It's a blueprint that lets you build a railway.
This.
That's
Someone use your 8-way.
Allied destroyer
Everything
has
Factorio
joined
if you want to see it.
squadron. Orbit.
It
singular.
can't go left.
Allied destroyer has left squadron.
Just looked at it.
I see a lot of referencing links.
Yeah. It's on stream.
Just scroll down. Just scroll down to the latest messages.
See, I don't actually remember if I made that or not.
So I can use the pass-through lanes to get to the bottom. I can use the right turn to go right, but I can't go left.
Why would you want to go left?
Oh yeah, it doesn't have a left turn. The outer tracks don't have the sweep on the outer.
Yeah, did I actually make that?
It's in your GitHub.
I don't think I ever finished that.
I
You might want
think
to
this is
comment.
what I think this is what you call it's a trap.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you might want to comment that for him.
Allied destroyer has left squadron.
Why?
Just look
He
at
likes
I'm
to see
getting
the world
asked.
burn.
I see a lot of
I'm the one
referencing
getting
links.
asked. When it's Mojo's blueprint.
Just scroll down. Scroll down to the
I
latest
mean,
messages.
as far as Mojo probably is
See, I don't
thinking,
actually remember
this
if
is
I made that or not.
So I can use the pass-through lanes to get...
See, I don't actually remember if I made that or not.
So I can use the pass-through lanes...
See, I don't actually remember if I made that or not.
So I can use the pass-through lanes...
See, I don't actually remember if... See, I don't actually remember if I made that or not.
So...
Maybe.
Okay,
See, I
Like the
don't actually
memory
remember
error
if I
from
made that
JD
or not.
So...
that crashed my game.
See, I don't actually remember
It's
if I
gonna
made
take
that
them
or
a
not.
few months before they get it semi-stable.
I feel like this intersection was a creation of some kind of late night fever dream.
Well, good thing the
Nah,
Friday Facts
yeah,
is about
it-
trains,
There you
so
go.
you can discuss it in the Friday Facts.
Okay.
It's one of those things I'm looking at, it's like,
invite
It's sort
to
of
your squad,
vaguely
I can
familiar,
join.
but I just don't remember actually making it.
Let's say alcohol was involved.
that
that
replay.
evening.
I thought Twitch crashed for a moment. It was doing it on a different screen, which didn't help you guys. Then I moved it across. Because, yeah, I was having trouble hearing what the clip was saying, plus what they're still... Yeah, I muted them.
Skill issue.
Allied destroyer has joined squadron.
Alright. So. Clonan noticed annoyances.
Was it Clonan? Was it? Oh yeah, it was Clonan that noticed annoyances this time. I thought it was Kovarex. I didn't even read.
They both played the game for the first time.
I mean, in fairness, Clonan does play the game occasionally.
Plays the game or joins multiplayer maps? Because I've seen him join massive multiplayer maps
Yeah, he does actually play those games.
to do speedrunning, but that's not really what I would call traditional Factorio when the whole game is done in less than an hour. Your desktop capture marker is on. This is correct because we're on desktop capture. So if we go back to game capture, then you can't see the Friday Facts.
JD,
Yep.
I suggest suicide.
No.
Press E. Press E. Don't be a sissy. Press E.
JD's got to be doing Friday Facts.
I wonder if... Smart us. One of the two. Alright. Train stop GUI showing on the way. Yep, that sounds like there was alcohol involved. You look at paint.
So, Reddit learned something new today. If you
Uh-huh.
make a train an odd length, then the blueprint is rotatable and flippable.
Huh?
So if you had a build that's 9 wagons long, say, then it's flippable. It's rotatable.
9 wagons.
Or 7 wagon or 5.
Wagons and trains are 7 tiles.
Yes.
So 7 7 is
But
49.
builds
So
are rotatable. And builds are like you can rotate 180 degrees and it doesn't offset itself.
I didn't know trains did already.
If you have one that's an even length, if you rotate it, the build doesn't line up with itself, but it does if it's an odd number of wagons.
Okay.
Yeah, makes bot sandwiches a lot nicer if they're an odd number.
Except they didn't address that when you ping nowhere near a station, it always pings the railway station. Yeah, that's a feature. All right. Trains on the way tab, so we can see which trains are coming. Okay, great. Train naming and train limit. Support an order of operations setting up a new train stop, and we do it wrong to lead yourself to an unpleasant situation. This mistake you only make a few times, but even the process of setting limit and color each time a bit of a hassle. Always copy and paste the existing stop or use a blueprint. However, these options are not always convenient. Whilst thinking about it and whilst doing it over and over, build stop, set limit, set color, set name. Came up with a solution that minimizes the risk and at the same time makes it more convenient. When I set the name of a stop, I want to copy the limit and color from an existing stop with that name. Setting the name will copy the name, limit, and color. Setting the name.
So selecting the name from the list will just make it take all of its settings.
From it.
So it's color, color,
Color, stop limit,
stop limit,
priority.
priority.
But the stop limit will be the lowest number of trains that any of that station has, and the priority I'm not sure they didn't mention.
Okay,
Oh, was there a follow-up on that?
so he just
Or that-
literally is just copying and pasting from the list.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's just there.
I generally keep going when I play a train stop. Name's not shown on the map. However, very often I want to see where a specific stop is, so I may simply change over a stop to show the name regardless of the map view setting. You could just zoom in from map view, and then
That is also kind of nice. But
click
also,
on
what's
the
that
station.
top station that he
Oh.
hovers over? It's got an icon that I didn't recognize.
It's
So
useful
you're
if you
switching to
turn it
find
off.
effect?
it's bricks, lube, stone, more
The
stone,
fate of this planet
Huh.
hangs in the
iron, chips,
You must tip
solar
the
panels,
scales.
sulfur, acid.
I thought it was an ingot of some kind.
Okay.
Also, I don't remember if it was preamble last week or if it was actually in the thing. I mentioned something about something being hidden under the window. The window was hiding whatever was underneath the beacons, and it turned. Admittedly, it was a task failed successfully because I hadn't spotted the mech digger suit thing.
Huh?
But I had a feeling they were hiding something.
Hiding what? Last week.
So the foundry window,
Uh-huh.
just on the boundary of what the window was covering. So the foundry looked like it was hiding something. The foundry window looked like it was hiding something.
Uh-huh.
And it turns out there's like a little bit of a something standing there with like a scoop for an arm.
Too much
Where?
zoom. Too much zoom. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's just to the left of the inserter where the boundary of the window is.
Here.
Yeah, that. Doesn't seem to be a part of the foundry itself. It's not a part of the graphic.
This thing here. Okay.
And it's moving as if it's got the idle animation of a player character,
I think you're seeing
or at least
things.
the old player character.
I think you're seeing things. I think you're seeing
It was
things.
all over Reddit.
I think Reddit's seeing things.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
Trash to treasure.
I mean, remember that time when Reddit thought they found the Boston bomber like 5 times and were wrong like 5 times?
No, that's the new building.
Got it wrong more than 5 times.
I don't remember how many times they were wrong, but it was a lot.
Reddit, Braun? What news?
Sound improvements. Sound improvements where we did the foundry. Okay. Fast foundry left. So that's pouring and has stuff going that way.
It definitely wasn't a
Right,
scoop there.
Helldiver.
Well, since
Allied
you're doing
destroyer
the
has
Friday
left
facts,
squadron.
I'm gonna go play
Yeah, no.
with some other folks.
No, no problem. Okay, yeah, fine. There is definitely something there.
Like on Friday facts.
Thanks, mate. There is definitely
I'm
something
gonna
there.
listen. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to the stream, so see you in chat.
Okay, I don't know what's there, but there's definitely something there. Shut up. Because this has the scoops going to the right constantly. And then this has... not that one, that one. That has the scoops, but they're beneath whatever this is. Some sort of power armor with giant digger hands?
Yes, that's sort of the implication.
It's the improved version of the steel axe. Steel axe Mark II. They give us back the axe.
Oh, that's right. There were people mumbling about that, and then they're all salty that the steel axe was removed.
I've got an answer for that. It is, you go to the intro, and then you go down here, and you turn on this one, and we can go through, you know, the
Factory,
reintroduction of the
burning a single piece of
or the
wood. I do
final
hope you guys
pickaxe. The
enjoyed
final
my
pickaxe.
very last version.
It's the last pickaxe ever.
Yeah, yeah. I fed the handle of it to a burner miner, and started a what is it? Goldberg machine? Rude Goldberg machine? Can't remember the guy's first name. Launched a rocket with a single wooden stick. Okay. No, it's definitely something. It's just different animation. There's now slider tray. No, because the slider tray is still there. The slider tray is still there underneath. It was put in a weird position. And I fully agree it was put in a weird position when we did the Friday facts. But no, Mojo didn't mention it before or after. Or during.
I thought I did mention that at some point, I mentioned that it was put in a weird place to hide something. It just looked like it was hiding
Maybe.
something.
Look at the two clips. This is the sound clips. Which is just the foundry. Which is why I went for that one. That's the same thing in slow-mo.
Allied destroyer has left squadron.
Bye, folks. Like, it's sticking out here. Bells vs. Bolts, which is better optimized for FPS? If you have an FPS problem with Factorio, you have a bigger issue. Get a dedicated graphics card. In the new Friday Facts, there is no tray. There is a tray. It's right there. It's right there. It's sliding out of the way. Right there. It's right there. It's right there.
Where is it?
The tray's right there. Has trains been optimized to be better for large haulers? Trains are fine. Your biggest Your biggest cost with Factorio is machines and inserters. Less machines, less inserters. I don't see what you're all talking about. Okay, red-eyed sniper. Okay. See this arm thing here? Think of this as an excavator. It's an excavator with a shovel pointing downwards towards the ground. This little thing here. Okay, I can't do any more zoom. This is all the zoom you get. Okay, hold the phone closer to the face. That's how we do a zoom in reverse. Okay, and then it rocks back and forth. Like the idle animation for the Factorio engineer, whose head spins. That's what we have. Just this little bit here, which is an arm. An arm to a power armor. So does assemblers, does it help if you power off stations when not in use? No. Powering off things is worse. Okay, so train stop show path of incoming trains. I thought we had that. I thought if you clicked on a train station, you could see the path of the train going there.
I think it's only if you click the train itself.
Yeah, okay. If you click the train, you get the path that's going to take to the station. So now if we hover over a train station, we can see all the trains heading there, which is fine until you end up with 300 trains going to one station because you clicked the wrong button. Cool.
Cool issue.
Have you ever played Factorio, like, really late at night? Like, you know, after midnight, 2, 3 a.m. and, you know, mistakes happen?
Yes. See,
So-
my kind of mistakes usually involve the whole base being off by a few tiles to where I intended it to be.
Well, that's easy. You just cut, paste. Okay.
Yes, that's literally what I do, and then it takes like 7 hours for it to pick up the entire base.
Okay, I thought I should turn that off, but alright. Go away. Okay. So if it's there's another
Or build a giant blueprint that you completely forget that you made.
For train tracks, and then publish them, and then they're not working. Waiting for a smarter cut and paste where you cancel the paste already exists. Huh? We already have that. So now, if you cut and paste something, if you don't hold the Shift Control Alt FZ whatever it is, it won't force place over the top and remove the things that don't need to be there. It'll just paste around things. So if there's another something there, wouldn't that be overlapping the build boundary? It's a person. It is the engineer. This is the engineer. This is the engineer wearing some sort of new armor. If you cut out all your mark for removal.
It could also be another vehicle, like an exoskeleton suit.
Sure. If you cut out marker for removal, and then even when you paste up it, then it goes. Astro, we're about to go through the Friday facts. Possibly, hopefully.
That's the hope and the
Hell,
dream,
that
is to
was
actually
the
start at some
Factorio,
point in the
though.
next 2 hours.
Shh. I still don't see it. Okay. Do we see this? Do we see the pouring of the lava into the scoop? Pouring lava in the scoop, going into the bucket. The bucket slides out of the way. We see this? We see just this bit here. Just this is all you need to worry about. This bit here. Okay. All right. And then we're going to go to here. And then we're going to loop this so we can see it over and over and over. Okay. Pouring lava into the scoop, into the bucket. And there's this extra little arm thing here, which is a vehicle or an armor or something. Title is
Title and category.
cool. Done. All right. So there's maybe an arm here that is not a building, because they have their rules about buildings and things overlapping buildings and buildings overlap building rules. So it's an armor or it's a vehicle. Okay. So this week's Friday Facts. Copy, paste, train stops from map. Who cares? Nice feature, but who cares? Okay. Rename all train stops. Spend 500 hours again copying and pasting name stations, all consistently made a small typo. Named all your orange resource stations Cooper Drop, and now you're stuck with it. Then you just live with it. You just live with it.
I don't understand the copy and paste from the map, because you can just zoom in a little further and do the same thing.
Exactly.
It's not as good a visual feedback, but still. It's, you're 4/5 away. Like, you're one zoom level away from being able to do it anyway.
You are. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can also do it during Fog of War.
Sure.
They're showing there.
Sure. Fog of War. Okay.
Still just click on it. Oh, I suppose.
No, you can't, because you can't zoom in enough.
Yeah, but who doesn't put radars everywhere so you can see shit? It was an image
Well,
modification.
it's obviously
that should appear in
stamped
the
from a
window.
blueprint, so it's obviously a skill issue. In blueprint foo.
Okay. If it was an image modification, then should it appear in the window that's covering it? It's not an image modification. I think it's just a modification of the image of the building. It's not. It's not. It is. And yes, it would appear down here. If it was extra art added to the building, it would appear down here, right underneath the speed beacons, which means you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. And it's something new. Also, it has a fucking shadow. Okay, it has a shadow
over the top of the
The
building.
fate of this planet hangs in the balance.
Sure.
You must tip the scale.
It's all shaded, that area, but yeah.
Do I have to dig up the...
No.
Scroll down through Reddit for like half an hour
No.
to find
No.
the post with the giant red circle?
No. So we can rename all the train stops, or we could just leave with Cooper Drop. Cooper Drop's fine. It brings engagement. People come into the stream and they're like, why are all your copper stations renamed Cooper? I'd be like, well, because he subbed at the time. Now, you should hit the subs button or hit the follow button, and then maybe you'll get a station too. You can be Arn.
And that's why you're only C tier, because it could, instead of Cooper Drop, it could have been Cooper Droop.
Yeah. Manual locomotive push. Yeah, we covered that earlier. They told us about that earlier. Remote driving trains, which is going to be so bad.
I think all my copper outposts are going to be... all my copper unload's going to be Cooper Droop from now on.
Cooper Droops. Man, you can change... What? Man, can you change your mouse so we can see it better? Have no idea what you're looking at, but whatever. Okay, what I can do is you can go look up Friday Facts number 396, and you go look up Friday Facts 403, and you can do all the zoom and enhance you want, Dino. All the zoom and enhance!
Just zoom and enhance.
Okay. Where are we? Where is this? Okay, there we go. All right, can I go, this one? Transform.
I did also say there are several Reddit posts about it, so you could also dig those up. It doesn't take that long to dig up a 6-day-old Reddit post.
Reset. Oh, I don't want to reset. Undo. That's what I want. Hey, transform. No. There we go. There you go. Okay. Hang on. I gotta find the... Nope. I gotta find the corner. Do we see the arm? Can we see the arm? It's all the zoom and enhance you get. Do we see the lack of an arm? Trooping, we need more zoom. You should see Troopin's images of his Factorio, how he runs Factorio. With like the tiniest GUI in the world. It's all ARM. I don't think I can get that any larger. Is that GD Players? Is that a JCB? I don't know. What's a JCB?
He's talking about backhoe.
Huh?
Tractor with the digger on the front and the small digger on the back.
Okay.
JCB is a builder and brand of heavy machinery, including but not limited to backhoes, diggers, bulldozers, and other miscellaneous machinery, generally painted yellow.
Okay.
They also have lime green for their hydrogen stuff.
That brings up JBC tools for me. Okay. Yes, it's a Tonka truck.
JBC. JCB.
JBC.
Oh god.
JBC. Yeah?
CB.
What?
J plays D now.
Heavy duty JBC type backhoe loader in India. No, it's a JBC. Killing a mojo one step at a time.
But yes, that type of thing.
It's JBC.
Madeinchina.net.
JCB. Oh, that loaded,
D plays J.
that loaded way more results. I could buy one at I could buy one at Amazon. Look, it's cheap as chips on Amazon. Way better than made in China. That was expensive. This was way cheaper.
It's also a lot smaller.
Shh. Shh.
I think there's a scale difference going on.
Don't come back to me with technicalities. Okay, Friday facts.
It's like it'd be like 32% smaller.
The Chinese one. Yeah, see, there you go. That's why they're scamming you on the price and they're scamming you on the scale. Get the Amazon.
The arm from the gift looks like a scoop from JBC as well. It looks like... Sai! You left Discord.
Yeah, you said he was going to.
Yeah. I want to know, there's a particular vehicle in Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic, a particular diggy boy.
Bucket excavator.
I don't know if the wiki has the vehicles, because the wiki's really bad, actually. Road vehicles, we'll try that. It's an excavator. It does. It's the TA15. Which doesn't have a fucking picture. This guy. This didn't work. Search Google. This guy. It looks like one of these guys, because they normally drive with the bucket up one way and then they flip it over for using. Starting to feel like an old couple. Doesn't matter, I found it. It's the T815. Zoom. Enhance. 5 tabs later. It's only 9,000 euros? You get one of these to drive to work. Sure, I accept that I can't read. Well, it's to drive to work. Problem solved. How you go virus 101? Clicking the accept button. Oh. Diggy bit flips over. Oh, look. I think that's quite the one I want. Okay. Friday facts. Trains get stuck. You get themselves in tricky situations. Yeah, because you screw up the signals. However, if you're on some other planet, having a great time in massive inconvenience, have to travel home just to fix one deadlock. No. Build out the robot network and deconstruct the trains.
It's usually how you do it.
Yeah.
Or use the Fat Controller mod.
No, just build out the robot network and deconstruct the train. Deconstruct the train.
That's a mod that it's another mod that's gone. Fat Controller.
Fat Controller let you remote drive trains, did it?
Yes. I
Oh.
also added a hotkey to set. It's a toggle between auto and manual.
Oh, that part I remember. Because Fat Controller was around. What was the mod that let you build train tracks with a train?
File.
File, that's right. So you use File and Fat Controller together.
Yeah, those were two must-haves.
Yeah. Back in the day. Gets 50 gallons per kilometer. Yeah. How many years later? Many. How you doing, Troopin? Rail planner works in map mode. Yeah. Superforce buildings support the rail planner, so Crusading over lakes is easier than ever. But it just built bridges, so who cares? Okay.
Didn't you be able to rail planner from the mapping though?
No, you'd have to be in map view, zoom in far enough that you're in real view, but still in the map view version, and then start the train track. And then you could drag it. No, you couldn't zoom out. So then you could drag it in map view whilst you're still at that zoom to wherever you wanted, and then click. And then it would just ghost build however it decides, which could be fine. It could go around a tiny bit of water by 1,000 tiles because it felt like it, because the rail planner.
I swear I've done this before in like a very early version of the rail planner.
Maybe before they removed the ability that you couldn't do ghosts in unknown areas. So if
Probably related to that.
you didn't have radar coverage, you could not build previously. But the ghost icon does change to red when he uses super force building, because he builds through this wall. Yeah. Which will then mark the wall for decon automatically. Okay. Fast automated rail out or something. Yeah. Yep, file.
Fully automated rail layer.
Yeah, and it was automated. If you had... Isn't that why you need a Fat Controller?
Oh, you could run it remotely with Fat Controller, but no, you had to... Oh, the idea was it just laid rails, and it made placing rails a hell of a lot easier than existing methods, which meant you walking slowly and placing track. It was painful. The main thing was that you put a blueprint in, and it did everything for you, as long as you drove forward.
Yeah, so it did forward, it didn't do curves. And you needed a blueprint in it?
Yeah, you needed a blueprint, or several blueprints in it, in later versions that I remember. Which...
And then you need to have all
told it how to tile what it was trying to lay, and then you needed ones for corners, or you needed one for horizontal and then one for diagonal.
Yeah, and then you also needed to make sure that all the items were in the cargo wagons, not in your inventory, because your inventory didn't count. And if
yeah, contents had to be in the train.
And if it ran out of a single item, it just broke.
It would stop, yes.
Yeah. So if you carried all the tracks but none of the signals, bad luck, nothing. If you ran out of train stations, bad luck, nothing. Maybe that's why we had Fat Controllers, so we can bring it back home.
Oh, you would be driving it anyway, because you couldn't set it to auto.
I thought you could. So you could say just go that way and it just kept building. So it ran out of materials.
Maybe that was a thing in later versions?
I don't know, I only played it with the early versions from memory. I can't remember. Last time I may have tuned into this was when they released the high-res icon pack. It has been a long time. Oh yes, that's been a very, very long time. That was high-res icons the first time, the second time, or the third time. Yeah, it's been a while. Are you being disconnected due to activity? Well, that solves that problem. And then I need to go through a cutscene to load the game so I can quit. Oh my fucking god. Yay! And quit. Okay.
Hey, you managed to quit without it crashing. That's a miracle.
I've always quit without crashing. It sometimes crashed so I could quit. That one, they failed. That one and that one.
Still.
Okay.
Even better still. You didn't have Russian hackers insert an aimbot into your game.
Ah! I would thank them. I could do with all the aimbots I could use. Yeah, aimbots are fine.
Although I don't think it was actually Russian hackers that did that.
No, somebody came forward and they admitted that they did it, and they admitted it wasn't caused by whatever the anti-cheat software is.
Oh yeah, the anti-cheat people said it wasn't them, but and yeah, the hackers also said it was in the client itself.
Yeah,
but they wouldn't say what it was.
And they said they wouldn't say because there's no bounty system for bugs.
Yeah.
So like, fuck you. I'm not telling you how to fix it. I'm not telling you where it is. You can go search through your own code base to work out where it is. And Jenny would still manage to miss the target even with an aimbot. Yes, Takabera, I would. That's the important thing. All right, so 425 into the recording. That is definitely not how we type 425. Because the keyboard still swapped across. Can we unswap the keyboard, please? That's definitely not the right button. It's the other green button. Cool. All right.
Did you hear about the part where I have COVID?
No. No, you got COVID, do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why I probably don't sound the best.
No, you don't sound the best. I was just going to write it off as, not being 100%, and I woke Mojo up early. Because it's not midday Friday facts. It's like 10:30-ish Friday facts. Holy icons, what are the icons? How many applications do you have running in the background? Streamer bot, web browser, Discord, OBS, Core Temp. Core Temp's the one with all the icons. It's one number per CPU. There's a lot of CPUs on an i9-3900K. I have less things running. Less things running than normal. Normally, there's Photoshop still running. The video editing software is still running. Normally. It's Core Temp. It's Core Temp because I was frying the CPU by feeding it voltage, and then I had to restart after uninstalling, reinstalling OBS and doing other things. So then I lowered the voltage, and we're going to see if it crashes. Yep.
It's like looking at a random person's Windows 98 PC.
No, it's like looking at somebody's desktop. Everything's on the desktop. Everything is on the desktop. There's 24 CPUs, which means there's 24 little temperature gauge things. Okay? And it's only because I've got this so I can look at the core voltage.
Isn't the 13900 only 12 core? It's hyper-threaded.
I think it's 8 plus. 8 plus 16? Looks like a virus to me. It is. The CPU is definitely a virus. It's a power virus. I'm not monitoring. I'm really not monitoring the temps. I'm really monitoring just the V core.
Okay, it is actually 24 core, 32 thread.
There you go. And I very, very rarely hit a resource issue. Very rarely. Very, very rarely. It's normally the point I've got 3 games open at the same time, and the video editor and Photoshop. Look, if it helps at all, like the stream is being which is one of the other things I had to test and look at. GPUs. You're doing encoding and you're doing encoding. So yes, one's doing the stream, the other one's doing the recording, and then when I go to YouTube, I'll be doing 2 encodings. Have you tried hardware monitor? The problem, okay, so chat. The problem with CPU ID doesn't do temps with voltage, it just does voltage. And if I do something like hardware monitor, that monitors all the hardware, which is more stress on the system than just the core voltage. The core voltage and the temps is all I need. I just need this. I don't need to know about the GPU temp and then this, that, and something else. All right? It's more stress on the system. What do I call it with? I call it with a AIO. Is it like super hot? It is currently 22 degrees Celsius outside. 22 outside. 27 in here. The air conditioner's on and set to 28. Yes, the air conditioner's on to cool it down. We're in cooling mode. Because it's warmer in here than it is outside. Because computer. Monitors all this hardware, but doesn't use up all your CPU resources making icons. I'm not seeing the icons. You're a pretty powerful computer. I do, Troopin. I do. It's for work, so I spend the money. I spend the money. I upgraded. The last one was a 9,900K, whatever. And then replaced it with the 13. And then got the 49 at the same time. Because last time I skimmed on the GPU and then couldn't get a fucking GPU. Alright, Friday Facts. We good? Chat, you good? Can we do Friday Facts now? Before Mojo dies?
The thing that I was asking for like half an hour ago or an hour ago.
Hey.
It's already almost 11.
10:47? Yeah. What time I ping you?
Oh wow, you pinged me at 10:41.
I pinged
No, you did
you
at 9:57. I thought it was at 9 o'clock.
No, it was at 10, dude.
Was it actually? I thought it was only 9.
Icons you taskbar, 1 per core, 0.9
Never
CPU,
mind.
30 megabytes RAM. Core
Just got to
temp
bed.
is using 5 meg of RAM and 0 CPU usage. It's fine, chat. Okay, chat. I have an idle CPU or 5 or 20. It's good. All right.
Hidden icon doesn't peg the CPU. This isn't Linux.
Or earlier versions of Windows. Okay. All right.
Or Windows 98.
And XP. And XP.
Oh, if it was XP, the icon would just be black.
Oh, because it's using too many cores, too many cycles to actually render the icon. Yes.
No, just black. What is it? I forget what they call it. Icon syndrome or something.
Okay.
Is where random icons would just go black.
Oh yes. I actually, if you max out your CPU, if you don't have enough available cores, even on a modern PC, I've seen it happen. Also, if you crash the GPU driver, weird things happen.
In XP, you only had 1 core, so it wasn't hard to max it out.
No, we had multi-cores in XP.
It was
Yeah, Core 2 Duo. You do go Core 2 Duo. Yeah, Core 2 Duo was out by then.
Core 2 Duos were dual core, so were Athlon 64s, but they came pretty late in Windows XP's life cycle. The closest would have been the Pentium 4 Northwoods, which were the first with hyperthreading, or whatever was the first with hyperthreading. But for a good chunk of its life, it didn't have multi-core.
Yeah, we had.
For a good number of deployments, it didn't have more than one logical core.
No, XP was out in 2000.
2000 or 2001.
2000. So we had Pentium 4s with hyperthreading.
In like 2003 or 4?
No, prior to that.
They were introduced?
Prior to that. Prior to that.
Well, introduced and deployed on a large scale are two completely different things, you know.
It was Northwood, right?
Yes, which I think is 2003. You could look up hyperthreading. Because keep in mind that that's a top shelf item, and
November 20 and 2000 until 2008.
Yeah, that's the entire Pentium 4 line, including the 64-bit ones.
Hyperthreading.
But again, like, it assumes that they're all multi-core, and the vast majority were never multi-core, because it was an expensive CPU.
Doesn't actually have a lot of details. Two. .06 Northwood, so 2002. Yeah, I thought it was earlier than that. And Core 2 came out in 2006.
Well, 2002 was the Xeons.
Yeah, and then the 3.06 Northwood-based Pentium 4 in the same year. So 2002. Because I had this CPU. I had the 3.06 gigahertz.
And again, like, just because it exists doesn't mean it was deployed widely. So, like, the majority of Windows XP machines were single core most of its life, up until Core 2s, at which point they were generally Vistas.
You had... So Pentium... So back in the days, you had either Pentium 4 or you had Celeron, and there was a giant gap between the two of them. So yes, if you're doing something around the home and you were just wanting to browse the internet, it'd be a Celeron. Even gaming would be a Celeron. If you were using it for business applications or anything where CPU mattered, or a higher-end gaming PC, it'd be a Pentium 4. And then Core 2 Duo... The Core 2... Yeah, it would have been the Core 2 Duo is when they first brought out multi-core. And prior to that, the Core 2 and the Core lines were just rebadging Pentium.
No, Core 2 was the whole new architecture, the 64-bit architecture.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That was the one that destroyed AM2 overnight.
Celeron was a joke. Celeron was not a joke. Celeron made 100% sense. If you were buying a computer to just browse the internet, which most people were, they were not playing games, they were not doing this, they were not doing that, Celeron was fine. Perfectly fine.
Berries.
Oh.
Yeah, Celeron, it used to make sense, because the price gap between, like...
Oh, it was massive. It would be like 3 times as much.
Like, the hyperthreading Northwood, I can't understate how expensive that thing was. I should actually try and track down a price list.
So that's the 3.06, which I had. And then I had they mentioned it in this article or the last article.
I need to find the magazine now.
There was a 3.2, a 3.4, and a 3.6, and I had all of them. I bought each one of them. I upgraded it.
3.6 sounds like a Prescott.
It would have been a Prescott. Oh.
I remember those space heaters. Oh, I never had a lot of experience with those space
Oh,
heaters.
God.
A lot of people had them.
Oh,
But
God.
the few that I experienced, like my first time being in the presence of one, I was like, gee, why is this 3-meter sphere within this PC so hot?
Oh, it wasn't
And then I
just
look
that.
over, it was like, oh, it's a Prescott.
It wasn't just that. It wasn't just that. It sounded like a jet engine. So I was doing video editing all the way back then and re-rendering videos and doing all sorts of things. And they were all CPU based back then. So it would cook the CPU to do these videos and it took forever. And it was on the 478 socket. No, we upgraded the new socket, whatever the new socket was, with the round heatsink.
775.
That's it, 775, yep. So 775, and actually, I think there was even one on a 478, but they'd upgraded
Probably
the cases, so they had that duct on the side that drew in cool air from...
BTX?
Which one?
BTX?
No, BTX was the one where they flipped the motherboard upside down.
BTX was upside down, which had the tunnel. It was designed specifically to have the air tunnel.
Yes, but no, the BTX had it flipped the whole thing upside down, and the air tunnel was the front of the case at the bottom all the way through to the back.
Yeah, it was like a straight line all the way through.
Yeah, no, this is where they had the PVC pipe on the side of the case that went and sat over the CPU fan.
Oh, that everyone used to do that.
Well,
As in, all of the OEMs did that.
It was part of basic cases. Every case started going this way because they made so much noise, and getting them 10 degrees cooler air from outside the case made a big difference. So I had one of those.
OEMs did it, but custom stuff never went that far.
Oh, it did. The guarantee it did.
You might have been able to get like custom.
No.
I don't remember. Thermaltake, I don't think
No.
ever did
No.
ding, but
No, I'm talking $40 cases, Mojo. $40 cases had them.
yeah, like a Dell case.
No, like $40 $40 beige box cases, which had finally made the transition to black. I bought them. This quickly escalated from Friday Facts. It does.
See, most of this comes from me trying to correct hallucinations that JD has.
Shush. Trying to explain how hot this CPU was. So, had the duct helped, but the duct didn't help that much. So, because I was sick of the fucking PC sound like a 747 whenever I was running it, and also it was cooking itself, so it was thermal throttling, I got an 80mm fan, which I bolted to one side of the PCV, the ducting and the case. So I had an 80mm fan to draw cool air in, fire it through the duct, and then into the CPU, which helped. And then it helped so much that I got a second fan and bolted it to the first fan, which helped even more. So then I got a third fan and bolted to the second fan, which was bolted to the first fan, which came from the outside air, and each fan is being sped up by the previous fans, which then goes straight to the CPU, and it just squeezed together, and it sounded like a jet engine at all times. But now it's a cool jet engine! And also rendered videos about 20% faster.
And then it turned out that the duct was quacking, and it was actually a duck.
Yes. The mouse has to travel uphill no matter the direction of movement. That is correct. The regional CPU 4-bit processor, Intel Digital ceramic variant, blah, 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 plastic variant.
I find
that's
though,
early.
4004, 8008, it's quite... Technically, yes, but they're so basic that they're calculator CPUs.
Oh, can we read this? There we go. Intel 4. 3 GHz, 512 kilobytes. Kilobytes of cache.
Kilobytes of cache.
Cache. And it ran on 800 megahertz bus, which was 4 times 200? Yeah, 4 times 200. And then had a weird multiplier to get you to 3 gigahertz. Okay. Are we going to Friday Facts?
133 megahertz base.
Which would be 666, which would be 799. Yeah, okay, 133. Kilobytes cache, that was awesome. It was, and then I upgraded to one of the CPUs, which had 2 megabytes of cache, up from the previous model that had like 512. Massive difference. Also, MMX3 instruction set. When the video editor could use MMX3, again, that sped up video renders by like 20%. Massive differences. Massive differences in minor changes in CPUs.
Well,
Okay.
so it made video slideshow, 1 frame a minute to video.
It went to yes, I was rendering at less than a frame per second to I was getting close to a frame per second or just over. So it was now watchable. When you use how'd you use a double driver to double your RAM? Well,
Or living on the edge.
Well, now when I edit and do renders of videos, I'm still rendering at 1.5 times FPS. Occasionally, if I go 1440 to 1440, actually no, 1440 to 1080, it maxes out the GPU at like 200, 300 FPS. How are y'all doing? Doing all right, Fallen? Optimizing your AutoX bat file to tweak your high mem accessibility. Yeah, the good old days. The good old days where you had to go and set up the IRQs manually. Fallen Angel! Welcome back for 31 months, though. I think you managed to do it again last time. The last time you hit the reset button, I was also doing the Friday Facts, so you didn't get your pretty... Oh, now it's not going to work. You fucking piece of shit.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
Try again. Come on, we can do it. Come on, do it. Nope.
Like a boss.
Oh, there we go. Last week. Yes, last week. Okay. Thank you, mate.
J.
Like a boss.
I said K, so I said J.
Okay. What? Trying to sneak AOL line before your mum picked up the phone. I didn't have that problem. I went dial-up when I moved out of home, and then we finally got broadband at home.
Did anyone here ever actually get on AOL?
No, we had. Who was the other one?
Well, there was a lot of others.
There was an Aussie one.
Aussie Mail was one.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah. But that was an email service that I remember. But I think they were an email service later, but I don't remember them being as fully I'm pretty sure there was like a big pond. No, there wasn't. I don't remember a Telstra one.
There was
internet.
I was on CompuServe. CompuServe. Yeah, I was on some dial-up, but I went through like 5 different companies because
like they did hand out AOL.
Oh yeah, AOL
free trials here.
Oh yeah,
and CD. I think I have a CD somewhere.
Is Tiscall? It's in the UK. I went through dial-up services. I went through about half a dozen ISPs because they all had acceptable use policies, and I unacceptably abused the policy. I went from Juno to college's T1. AOL 5,000 free hours every month. Just make an account, unlimited hours. Yeah, we didn't have free. I don't think we had free hours every month. I think we had like a free 2-week trial or something.
Yeah, it was like a free trial.
And then
like 30-day trial or something.
Oh, I don't even think it was 30 days.
And then you had to pay.
I think it was like 2 weeks tops.
Probably 2 weeks, I don't remember. As I say, I'm pretty sure I have a CD. I can try and dig it up.
No, we don't need to see that. What I need is a fucking address and a fucking Queller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I went through half a dozen because they had a 4-hour policy. You could stay connected before they kicked you off, and then I had the computer set to auto redial because it was unlimited downloads, and we didn't use the phone line for anything else. So yeah.
I mean, back then at the download speeds, it didn't really matter.
We did. We had a local ISP that was a client of ours, and oh yeah, download speeds mattered. Oh shit, yeah. Shit, yeah. They had hundreds of 56k services, thousands of them. But they also had ISDN. Is that the one? Which was symmetrical?
Yeah, that was the other one.
Yeah, so that was symmetrical 64 by 64, and then they also offered 128 and 256 services. But they were designed.
ISDN.
Yeah, they were designed.
4 channels of 64.
Yeah, they were designed for business customers. Aussie nuts! Just talking about sending you a koala, right? Because Mojo's not going to give me an address. We charged for long distance phone calls when it took over a day to download the leadership, Larry. Hey, you nutters. A koala? Yeah, I don't know if I can find the image. Can I find the image? How you doing, Aussie? How was your stream? What were you doing? Somebody from chat should press the magic buttons.
You can find an image but can't start a Friday fax.
Oh, shush you. Ransom, koala, ransom.
Pansom.
Playing Icarus this time. We were cleaning out bugs earlier. Are you cleaning out bugs with us tomorrow?
BTTV Pro?
Huh?
Mr. Peanuts.
What?
BTTV Pro since 31st of Jan 2021.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like a ball.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Republican! Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate. Welcome back for month number 3. I'm trying to find the freaking koala. I don't know where I put it. Oh, here we go. Aussie. Do you ever have 1 million gum leaves? I need 1 million gum leaves. Oh, look, I gets it. It's gonna be Sunday soon? Nah, we got another 13 hours. Mojo will probably last that long. Snooze ads. Don't run any ads. Bad Twitch. Aussie, do you happen to have 1 million gum leaves? Aussie. The ransom. There's a ransom up for the koala. Mojo said he was going to pay, and he hasn't. It's an official Twitch koala. Get an extra point for a Twitch koala. Aussie's digging up his wallet. That's 10 million? No, it's 1 million. It's got 6 zeros. Wouldn't that be koala trafficking? No. It'd be returning it. It's only trafficking if I sell it back into slavery. Then it's trafficking. So if Aussie puts doesn't free the koala after he's paid the ransom, that's trafficking. Prior to that, it's fine. He's not going to answer me. If it's a Twitch bear, kill it. But it's not a bugbear. That's the important thing. It's a koala bear, not a bugbear.
I see what you did there.
Aussie's dealing with the puppies. Can't get rid of this damn thing. I'm drunk.
Send me a reminder to send you the address.
I or extra zeros. Mojo.
Yes.
This is your reminder. To go and just to Discord, which is in front of you, and type the address and press the enter button.
Okie day.
Okay. Chat, remember next time, it's in the downloads folder for reasons. I don't know what the reasons are, but the koala picture's in the downloads folder. I think there was a last minute accident behind him. The address, enter. In a DM to JD. What's in a DM to JD? I'd rather just typing in Discord and just sending it off to the ethers. Yep. Yep. Alright. Fine. That one. You happy now? Friday Facts alright now?
Oh, you ready for a Friday Facts?
Yeah. People rated. Okay? Gotta be nice to them.
I suppose.
Alright,
Michelle's there.
let me have a
Hi,
drink.
Michelle.
Michelle's there twice now. Also not fair. Aussie with strict quarantine rules, so I cannot send those leaves. You can send the leaves. I'll send it koala. I don't mind. All right. Photovax. I got an intro. It's fine. It should be renamed to Finally Friday Fun Facts. No. You should go like this. G'day, mate, and welcome to Friday Facts number 403, Train Stops 2.0, and I have my wonderful friend, COVID 2.0. How you doing, Mojo?
Well, I've been better.
Yep, I imagine so. So we're going to get through this Friday Facts really quickly. The good news is an extremely long one, so prepare yourselves for a long video. So, whilst Clonan was playing with trains and building train stops, he got a few annoyances, so he fixed some things. So we have Train Stop GUI now shows this.
It should be noted that this is Clonan, not Kavorex, as last time. So this is Clonan's turn to do little fixing annoyances.
Well, he's done a number of mods, so like he couldn't get them officially in the game because he's not Kavorex. So, but then he could make a mod that sort of did them. I really recommend the mining mod, which has little engineers that go out and mine the ore for you. Great mod.
That's a fun one.
Thoroughly entertaining. Even better when they had weapons. I don't know if they still have weapons, but they had weapons at one stage. Really entertaining. Because then they defend the outpost. It was great fun. They didn't defend it terribly well, but that was besides the point. Anyway, so Train Stop GUI now shows trains that are on the way to this train stop, which is interesting because this particular train stop unfortunately has 246 trains. This is why
I'm going to it though.
Yeah, only one going to it because it has a train limit of 1. But this is also why we don't use 111s. Okay, very important. Yes. You don't use 111s for this exact reason.
And then I remember my 16k base, which had like 300 trains going to Iron Drop because it actually needed 300 trains going to the Iron Drop.
Yeah, that's a different story. And they were not 111s. Okay.
No, they were 16s.
Yeah. So then we had train naming and train limit. There's an important order of operations when setting up a new train stop. If you do it wrong, you can lead yourself to an unpleasant situation. So you name the stop before setting the train limit. So then you have 102 trains coming to that particular train stop, which sounds annoying. It's a mistake you only make a few times, but even the process of setting the limit and color each time a bit of hassle. You can always copy paste an existing stop or use a blueprint. However, these options are not always convenient. Whilst thinking about it, I was doing it over and over again. Build stop, set limit, set color, set name. Came up with a solution that minimizes risk and at the same time makes it more convenient. When I set the name of a stop, I want to copy the limit and the color from an existing stop with that name. So now you pick the stop from the train list, and when you say OK, so this is a brand new station, it copies the existing details from another station. So this just looks like a copy and paste, but rather than you actually having to go find that particular train stop somewhere on the map, you're just finding it from the train list, which at least then it's in alphabetical order.
At the very least, you'll get the color, but as it says below, if there is a different train stop limit and
He's off dying. Yep. If there's multiple limits
train
set,
stop limit. I thought there was something else, but yeah, it'll pick the lowest of all of them, which means that you may still have to go back and fix the train stop limit.
Well, it'll pick the lowest number, so in theory, the worst you have to do is raise it up. And if you set the limit before naming the stop, limit is only changed if there's no current limit set. So it'll only copy a limit if it doesn't have a limit. So I guess it does make life easier that at least it's alphabetical order, so you don't have to work out exactly where accumulator drop is. And this seems like it's one of those things that in current Factorio you'd really only have an issue if you're playing with a large mod set where, you know, you've made iron ore. Well, actually, iron ore is probably a bad example, but, you know, weird resource intermediate number B that you need 10,000 of, or you need very infrequently to be made, but you need to be dropped to a lot of locations and used very slowly. Same sort of issue where you have no idea where that train stop is because you built it a long time ago. So now you just pick it from a list. So yeah. Again,
It's slightly more convenient than the first one, but blueprint skill issue does help with this one.
just knowing where the crap is on the map and in the base, so you could just copy and paste an existing one. Like, yeah. The only thing is, if you've got multiple train limits, it's going to get the lowest train limit that you've already set, which, sure, but again, if you're setting up for the first time, and even if one has a limit of 8 and the other one has a limit of 4, chances are you can have 4 extra trains show up and unload and not fill your buffer, right? Yeah, so train stop show name when hovering on map. So we have the option to turn on and off the train stop names. Also, you can change the angle of the train stop names. Most people just leave it on.
Don't recommend it.
Change the angle.
Yeah, I've done it before. I played around with it. Things start to get a bit weird if you change it too much.
It used to be directly to the right, which was a problem if you built multiple train stops beside one another. And I think there was an option that you could change it to directly up at one stage, but then you had the same situation like we have on the screen right now, where people build a whole lot of train stations in a row, like, you know, vertically. So going up didn't really work either. So this is why we end up at the 45-degree angle, which works. But now
the problem with rotating it is that the origin of the text needs to be moved as well. Because if you change the angle even slightly, they all just start colliding with each other. Because the exact position and rotation is perfect for where they are, so they don't overlap.
Yeah.
Right zoom.
Yeah, with the right zoom. So now, yes, you can turn it off, and then it'll happen when you hover over the particular stops. But as Mojo pointed out in the pre-Friday facts, just zoom in a little bit further.
Yep.
Like, I assume you have alt mode on, like you can see what's in all the wagons. You're going to pick out the stop pretty quickly, probably quicker than trying to hover over 8 different stops, just zooming in and going, oh, a green circuit, scroll, oh, it's that one. Probably. Yeah.
Searching for a stop by peaking like that isn't really a useful way to do things, unless you're obsessively obsessed with not having any overlays on.
Or you don't build radars. And if you're not building radars, you have a problem. You have a problem. Just put down radars. Just put down radars everywhere.
That more relates to a one further down, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So again, it doesn't fix the problem that you can't ping near a train station ever. Because if you ping near a train station, it gives you the ping location of the train station. Which is useless, because when you click on it, it opens the train station. It doesn't even take you to the location of the train station.
Oh, and God knows where same with pinging a train. You don't know where the train is, but you can select it.
Yeah. At least the train, you can then click the button in the train view to take you to that location of that train, and the camera's locked to the train, but the train stop, no, that option doesn't exist. Maybe it might exist in the future, by looking at trains with a stop, selecting that train, and then scrolling where that train's going to then find. Yeah, it's still a backward way of doing things. Okay, so train stops show the path of incoming trains, which is linked to, you know, you can follow the train to the train stop to find out where the train stop is, because you pinged beside it and the ping didn't work and it got you the train station instead. So now when you hover over the station, to go with the name popping up, it's also going to show a red line for any incoming trains that are going to go to that station. So if you accidentally do the copy and paste wrong and you get 108 trains coming in, good luck to you, GUI.
Yeah, that's what the immediate thought I had was, does that mean you're going to see 108 lines coming?
Yes.
Oh dear. Which is completely pointless, because it means all of your tracks are just going to be lit up red.
No. All the tracks going in one direction are going to be lit up red. All the other tracks in the other direction will be fine. Assuming you have, you know, dedicated left and right lanes. If you have some sort of uni-parallel third track that goes multi-directional, boy, are you screwed.
Well, So something that can happen is that, like, if you have loop-a-loop train stops, you
Oh,
can have a
yes.
train that paths around that busy block, and so
Yes.
you can have trains that go back
Oh,
another
yes.
way and then maybe find their way around in a
Yes.
roundabout path.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You could have, in that general area, you could end up with every single train track is just lit up bright red because trains are pathing both to and from and back to and around and to that particular stop. Oh, yes. Let's just, yes. Okay. We also added, to go with all the other map functions we have, we can now copy and paste train stations from the map. So rather than you having to zoom in one step closer to do your shift...
One step closer, as long as you have a radar.
To do your shift left click, shift right click, you can now do that from the map view, which you could already do that providing you had a radar and you can zoom in one step closer. You now don't need to zoom in one step closer. Also, you're not going to see any of the train station labels unless you hover over them if you've turned off that setting.
Yes. And you wouldn't have to do that in the first place if you didn't have blueprint skill issues. And remember to tick that box. That's never ticked.
That's never ticked.
Every time.
Never ticked. And put down a radar. Put down a radar and zoom in one step closer so you can actually do it
always
properly.
forget that radar.
Yeah.
It's not like the fundamental reason why this problem happens is because that box is never ticked or anything.
Yes, that is the fundamental reason, and it is... If I'm copying a station, can we just tick it by default? Like,
Yeah.
please, just give me a setting.
Maybe it's an advanced setting or something.
Maybe there's a setting. Like, I'm happy if it's a setting. I'm happy if it's... I'm copying a station, chances are I want the name. Okay, it's probably going to be I want the name more often than I don't want the name. So... then we have rename all train stops. So you spend 5 hours in game copying and pasting named stations, all consistently, but you made a small typo and named all your orange resource stations to Cooper Drop, and now you're stuck with it. But what's not so cool is make you rename them all one by one. Now, if you hold down Control when confirming the change in the train stop GUI, it'll rename all the stops with that name to the new name. I like Cooper Drop.
I like Cooper Droop better.
Yeah, I do appreciate Cooper Droop. Cooper Droop is perfectly fine.
Like, now you got to fix your Cooper Drops and your Copper Drops to Cooper Droops.
Oh,
At least you can do that in one hit.
Yeah. Future playthrough is all going to be Cooper Droop. Okay, and then when people ask, people come join the stream and ask what the hell's a Cooper Droop, I will say it's FFF number 403. Yep.
The forbidden facts.
Yep, it's the forbidden facts. Yep. We have manual locomotive push. With new elevator rails, we have new elevator rail problems. What if a train running on ran out of fuel over some water? We don't want the player to get stuck with nowhere to escape. So we brainstorm many ideas, but simplest and easiest solution won out. Players can push locomotives with their feet, Flintstone style. Is very powerful and fast, so it really isn't usable in normal situations. But for emergency, it gets the job done. Given the player can ride wagons, also naturally means that wagons should be manually pushable too, which is quite funny sight to behold. Yes, Flintstone style.
It is pretty hilarious watching the wagon just slowly roll away.
I think it's great. The only question I have is the engineer foot power, because it's foot power and not some sort of fuel power, does it have a unlimited engine power, so therefore you can push a train of any length, or do we have to accelerate up to speed? Because that could be a problem with some very, very long trains. I'm thinking about the artillery train.
Very long train run out of fuel.
That runs out of fuel halfway across like a giant lake that you have no way of accessing rather than driving up to the rear of it. And if you tell a single locomotive to push at full speed with nuclear fuel and everything else, it takes 20 minutes to move it, and then you run out of fuel and it's only moved at 3 tiles. Can I push instead and make it go faster?
There's a couple of things that I immediately see as well. The first one is, in theory, my voice goes.
Mm-hmm.
In theory, trains shouldn't run out of fuel on track anyway, because you have train schedule interrupts to send it to a to a refueler.
But hang on. It is Factorio, okay? Mistakes never happen. So it's not like your train refueling station ever ran out of fuel, so your train came here to the refueling station to get fuel, and then left the refueling station because it's probably not been ticked to wait for fully loaded because, you know, those small little tick boxes, they're not ticked on automatically. So it's gone off to go do its next job, which happens to be on the other side of the map. Done that, come back to get more fuel, and then run across the lake and run out of fuel. But keep going. I like where this is going.
Well, the other thing was I'm kind of holding out until the first time that Exterm gets run over by a cargo wagon being Flintstoned.
Yeah, I can see it.
Got him.
I can see it now. I can see it now. I can see it now. And then we have remote driving of trains. Oftentimes, trains get themselves into tricky situations. Yes, you forgot to see them. You need some manual innovation to get them unstuck. However, if you're off on some other planet having a great time, it would be massive inconvenience to have to travel home just to fix one deadlock. So Railguard added the feature of remote driving trains, which has come in handy so many times already. I need to clarify, okay? This has happened to just about everybody. Everybody's made a boo-boo and put the wrong signal in the wrong spot or put two intersections too close to one another and had a deadlock. And the answer is, you have robots right there. Just deconstruct the train and the train track. And then once the bots have picked everything up, press Control-Z. They never put the train back, but they put the tracks back. And they can go put the train somewhere else. Just build a new one in the depot and send it off.
Just copy the train. Yeah, just copy the trains and then paste them down again elsewhere.
Yeah.
This also So I actually spot Reddit hasn't been talking about this for a change.
Oh wow!
But this eliminates the Fat Controller mod.
Yes, so it's another mod on the great mod graveyard. So Fat Controller.
I mean, to be fair, Fat Controller 90% was already on the mod graveyard since 15 when remote view became a thing.
Yeah, so Fat Controller let you remotely drive trains. It also gave you a keyboard toggle to swap the train between automatic and manual.
Yes.
And I wouldn't mind that
which
toggle.
was convenient.
Yeah.
It was a bit inconsistent though.
Well, obviously if it was added to a base game, it would be consistent. And it's not something
the
I
actual
use.
toggle was inconsistent from memory.
Well, it's consistent now at least. I've never had an issue where I've swapped the train one way and it's swapped back or not swapped or whatever. I would really like to have a toggle keyboard shortcut to swap the train automatic to manual. It's not one I use often, but it has been one that I've had to use in excess, fixing a whole bunch of trains at once because something bad's happened. And it's saving those 3 clicks. The 3-4 clicks to open each train.
Every time you paste a train, having to click start.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah, if I could hover over the locomotive and press some sort of keyboard combo to go from manual to auto.
That'd be amazing.
That would be more useful, way more useful, than being able to hover over a train station to get the name of the train station. I think it would even be more useful. Maybe being able to see the train that's on its way is super useful. But then again, if I click on the train station and I get a list of all the trains that are on the way and I click on the train, that train gives me a line already. So that feature's already technically there. It's just there in a different way now. I think it's also more useful than being able to copy and paste train station names from map view. Being able to have a keyboard combination shortcut that I can hover over a locomotive to switch things from automatic to manual for those times when you get a deadlock. And even if you can remotely drive the train that's jammed to the side of it is still on automatic and it doesn't know that it's doing the wrong thing and is going to keep trying to jam its way through, which leads to problems. So you need to swap both of them to manual anyway. Hence, I have to already open 2 lots of GUIs to, change automatic to manual twice and then do it all back to fix it all. And also need to, keep one of them open to go in manual driving mode. So, feature request right there. Just a keyboard combination. Control M work for manual?
Control M potentially. I think the original keyboard was just M. M or N.
I can't remember.
Control something. You don't want it just to be a straight button press.
No.
You want to do accidentally.
Yeah. So we can now do manual driving can be is accessed through the train GUI or with the normal toggle driving hotkey, whatever toggle driving hotkey is. I don't know what toggle driving hotkey is. Enter?
Enter.
So I open a train in remote view and I press enter, and then I'm in remote driving mode. Oh god, that's going to lead to problems. Okay. Also, I should mention very quickly that if you ever play multiplayer and you leave it open to the public, and don't get me wrong, Factorio has a great community to start with, plus we have universal bans with shared ban lists and all sorts of things, but it does technically mean that a griefer can now jump into your map, open your artillery train, press enter, and drive your artillery train around the map on manual.
Yes.
Without even having to travel there and his little icon on the map be on the train. Which is a...
Remote view in general opened up a lot of...
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
But being able to
shenanigans.
take an artillery train and not have to go anywhere near it, like, you don't even... Well, having a remote is dangerous enough, but, like, you could take the train and then you could drive it through other trains without an issue, and they don't tend to stay around. You don't get some sort of remnants you can rebuild when you run over a train. Yeah.
Well, you do get remnants of a flat train.
Yeah, but no ghosts.
No ghosts, no.
And then we get the rail planner works in map mode now. So we were missing this feature quite a lot ever since Rail City added blueprinting from the map. So it was a natural addition. Gens also just finished up using Superforce buildings to support the rail planner, so crusading over lakes is easier than ever before. Funnily enough, this does have Superforce blueprinting building into it, but they don't use it to go over the lakes. They start at the top.
You can actually see the ghost go angry.
Yeah, the ghost gets angry at Superforce buildings, so it's all normal ghosting right across the lake. And then as they drag across and hold the shift, it just blows its way through. It looks like a wall to me.
Yeah, it looks like a wall.
Yeah. And just bulldozes through the wall to put in the train tracks, which is fine by me. You know, it's got defenses. It'll probably be okay. By the same token.
I'm trying to think that I thought this was in the game at one point, being able to rail planner from map view, but I have a feeling, because I did check older versions and I couldn't find it. And I have a feeling it might have been demonstrated in a previous FFF, but never actually implemented.
I thought it was there when we could ghost from map view, because that was removed at one stage. And then I know currently if you go to remote map view and then you zoom in far enough that you can select a bit of train track and start ghosting it, and then without zooming out to map view, because if you zoom out to map view, it'll break your handle on the ghost track, you can drag it to wherever you want and then attach it to something and click, and then the rail planner does magic rail planner things.
Does its magic thing. It may have been what I was thinking of as well.
But in saying that, that's also really dangerous, because the magic rail planner will do magic rail planner things, and it might decide to take a 3-mile detour around a tiny itty bit of lake.
Or go for a bit of a loop-the-loop.
Yeah, randomly, because it feels like it.
Which admittedly it doesn't do as much now as it used to.
So it used to do it a lot previously, now it just does it most of the time. Yeah, I have loop-to-loops all the time. All the time. But yeah.
The rail planner, the 2.0 rail planner is supposed to be improved to fix that.
It's improved. It's now often rather than all the time.
It's not every time.
It's not every time anymore. It's just most of the time now. That's an improvement. It's definitely an improvement.
And to take from the people on the forum, it would be nice to have more control over the rotate, because currently you can only go in rotate in one direction.
Oh yes, yes. And now we have more degrees of rotation because the train tracks got slightly longer and blah 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 blah. Yeah.
And because you always miss the rotation the first time,
now you gotta go all the way around.
16 rotations twice, or however many there are. Was it 16?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think it was like 16 pre-current system. In the old system, when you had to rotate through each curve piece manually, it was like 16 or something.
I have no idea. It's too many. It's too many.
A lot of pressing R.
Can we just mouse scroll?
I think it was 8.
Mouse scroll? Like one direction for one way, one direction for the other? That also does zoom at the same time, which is a bit of an issue.
Yeah,
but you need one problem at a time. Control. We can hold control and scroll, and that'll change the rotation. Have we winning yet? Yeah, that should work. If we're holding shift to do ghosts, and then control is force build, but if we're holding shift still, hold control to use the mouse wheel so we don't zoom, but instead affect the rotation, and then let go of control when we get the right rotation, and left click again, it puts in a normal ghost. If we keep holding down the control, we put in a force ghost.
Yeah, well, the forum was suggesting Control Shift R to rotate.
But you're already holding shift for a ghost, and that's half the problem.
Yes, and then if you hit R, it rotates backwards, and then Control to make it go forwards again.
Yeah.
Or Control to toggle between forwards and backwards.
Yeah, I think the mouse wheel,
which is still very clunky.
Because you said of how many rotations there are, and a mouse wheel is really intuitive to go forward or backward, because one's going to be one direction. If you go 3 steps too far, well, then you just roll back 3 steps on the mouse wheel, and you do that without changing any of your keyboard operations. I don't know. But this Friday Facts is short, which is right up Mojo's alley because he feels awesome. And
Yes.
The only thing we missed is our predictions, because this was not the forbidden upgrade.
No, that was the hope and the dream was a forbidden update.
Yeah. So next week shall
well,
be...
mine was the forbidden update. Yours was biters.
Forbidden biters. Forbidden biters. So next week is going to be...
Biters were forbidden.
Yeah, next week is going to be not found. So I'm going to say we're not going to find biters. They're not going to be found anywhere on any planet. That's my prediction. Yours, Mojo?
Yeah, the biters won't be found.
Biters won't be found. He's going to predict no biters. I'm going to predict the biters are not found on the home planet anymore, and they're all other planets. We're going to have biters somewhere. But that's going to be it. That's going to be Short Friday Facts. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you next week for Friday Facts number 404. All right, that's it. We're out. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Mojo's off the hook. Done. 45-degree bus tracks? No. So far, maybe in 2.0, they'll rebuild the train. With power legs and your power armor, your Flintstone will go faster. Will your Flintstone go faster?
It's an excellent question. Oh, yes. So also on the forum, someone pointed out that most of the Space Age FFFs have been about 2.0 stuff, not Space Age. It's like a third of it has been about Space Age.
Yeah, but that's sort of... That's sort of what I expect. Space Age as the new planets. Which we already know, Vulcananus is the most developed. Algaris, whatever the fuck it is with lightning is not well developed yet. The previous planets were scrapped and rebuilt from start. We've got 2 more planets that are less built than Vulcananus, which is not finished. So, yeah. I think things that are in 2.0 are sort of finalized, but things with the expansion are not finalized. Because 2.0 feels like what we've had in the Friday Facts so far. 2.0 feels like, okay, we're waiting on the art team to do art. We've had placeholders. We've done play tests. Things have gone well. We're happy with, at this
a lot of quality
point,
things come from the play tests. A lot of these quality things, like so this person has just summed up the topic of all of the FFFs, and they say, okay, 2/3 of them are, non-Space Age specific, and then 1/3 of them, or what is it? It's there's a lot that are 2.0 specific, 3 that have a bit of both. Then is that 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 that are expansion specific. And so therefore there is 1/3 dedicated to the expansion. And so, but it doesn't really, like, this is a really short FFF on a few rail improvements, and so like one FFF isn't really representative because this is small in comparison to the Fungola reveal.
yes, the Fungola had a lot more data in it, but on a
Fungola?
I don't know.
Fluffgola.
Fucking stupid planet. Okay, so
Electric Planet.
yeah.
Electric Avenue.
Yeah. So I think what's happened is they've done a playtest. They've pre-written some of the 2.0 features, some of the things that didn't make it in 1.1, like quality and the other
Well, they
things.
should have done several tests
But-
by now, because they'd already done at least one playtest before they announced it.
Stop.
Or at least when they announced it.
Stop. So, prior to them starting 2.0, they'd already done playtests and then added new features like quality. They said quality didn't make it in 1.1. They wanted it to, but it didn't make it there. So they added some more functionality for Factorio version 1.2. And then they decided, you know what, we're going to do an expansion. We want some sort of expansion. They had some ideas that didn't pan out. So then they went back to the drawing board. They did another playtest with lots of ideas. And they can play the game with placeholder graphics. But at one point in every single game's development, you're waiting on the graphics department to catch up. And I think that's sort of the point they've got to a couple of times, where they're waiting on graphics, they're waiting on somebody to refactor something to add functionality, like the train tracks, having the new degrees of rotation. It took somebody 2 weeks, 3 weeks to do just that one little feature. And you can't do a playtest without them functioning. So, they've had to do another playtest, then another playtest, another playtest. And this is where some of these little quality of life things have come from. But they're also waiting on the new train tracks to get the new raised train tracks to then do another proper playtest of Space Age to then decide if they need to go and change Space Age anymore. And whilst their programmers are bored and waiting on graphics or one particular person to get something done, where are we? Game About Us. All the other devs are like, okay, what do you want to fix? Go fix it.
I wonder where they are on their 7-step plan.
Step 2. 1, 2.
In fact, where?
3. 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 7. 8, 9, 10. 11, 12 to 6. So we got 12 programmers to 6 artists. And art normally takes longer than anything else. Friday Effects is going to take longer to render? No. It'll take longer to get it moved to the right hard drive to render. New planets and quality are big space things. So Saturday pills are in short supply, or their hair does not grow back fast enough. For programmers or for artists? Artists tend to have hair, programmers don't. Because artists can rub shit out, but programmers can't.
So when they reveal the 7-step plan,
in Friday Facts
they
number,
were at step 4.
In number.
And when they announced Space Age, they declared themselves to be at step 5. So that is the floaty alien one, 367. There's a 7-step plan.
367 is floaty alien.
And so when they announced the expansion, they were at step 4, and when they announced Space Age, the 373 FFF, they declare themselves to be at step 5. Okvaro says they're at step 5, so first pass tweaking.
Okay, so go back
So
to this.
so this is effectively.
So we're in the iteration stage. Okay.
The iteration of first pass. So first pass tweaking. I think there's actually an 8-step because step 5 is really. It's kind of a flawed plan now that now that you really get into it. I don't know if we ever talked about this, but yeah, the first pass tweaking is really potential, like it's a trap for developer hell where you're just stuck there. Classic Factorio devs of development being stuck in the tweaking stage.
Coming back to step 5 is a loop. It's where you go through and you iterate on what you already have. So you take your first pass, you're like, okay, well, the Volgola planet sucks, so we're going to scrap everything and go from scratch, which they already said they did.
But it also suggests that step 3 is implementing the subsystems, which means potentially all of the planets should be done by step 5.
So step 3 is running the base code to get things functioning. So they've written the base code, and then step 4 is tying things together loosely so they function.
Unless that saying adding more planets is really part of the subsystem is developing the planet and connecting it to a prototype, and then developing more planets after that is just a re-implementation of step 3 and 4. So there's potentially a hole in this entire process as well, because it doesn't account for that sort of process.
Well, so step 3...
If that makes sense.
Step 3 is subsystem. So it's new mechanics like lightning. Okay. Also... the train stop interrupts, all those sorts of things. All those sorts of things go into step 3. If they're pre-thought of, they might not be thought of until you go through to step 5, and then you need to go back to step 3.
I think interrupts is a result of step 5.
Probably.
In fact, a lot of these in fact, all of these train tweaks, I think, are a result of step 5, because all of them are because we were doing this thing and it was inconvenient.
Yeah, so
they all feel like step 5.
So we went back to step 3 and we went and tweaked and added some more things, right? But also step 5 is where we wait on graphics. Okay, graphics,
yep.
UX improvements, which is something they can do the code for. Like, they're not... The train GUI hasn't changed. It doesn't have new art assets. It's just rearranging what they already have and adding new UX to it, right? So
the real question is that for step 3 and 4 to have been passed means that all of the signature characteristics of every planet should have been figured out by now.
Yes.
And at least...
but they've been... hang on. They've been figured out. They've done a playtest, and either they're not happy with the playtest, they've had to go back and tweak it, okay, and add more things, okay? So, like the Fagola planet, where they had the making a base again to launch a rocket again with the new rare resource that they haven't spoken about from that planet again, right? They weren't happy with it, so they went back and they scrapped everything and changed it into recycle world, right? Cleaning up trash world.
Yeah,
right.
That actually comes back to why I was saying step 5 is a flawed step, because if something fails on step 5, now you're back to step 3.
Yeah.
And so it's an infinite cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flawed. The 7th. I think I'm starting to see all the flaws in the 7-step plan. 7-step stan.
Yeah. Mojo talk good. Eventually we'll get to a beta test. Eventually we'll get to a beta test. When we get to a beta test, Cloden was here for an early Friday Facts, and he indicated that content creators may get early access, either just prior to release or to beta. But I'm willing to bet, as with most things, it'll be covered by an NDA. You can't talk about it.
I'd be fine with NDA beta test.
I would be too. The problem is, like, I already know that Captain Industry previously, and I expect, it comes out in a week and a half. The newest update comes out in a week and a half. Normally they aim for 2 weeks worth of beta test to a small group. I'm willing to bet I'm already in that group. I'm willing to bet I will have access. But I know last time, even though I had access, I didn't touch it till 4 days beforehand. Because there were bugs. I knew there were going to be bugs. The bugs were all mostly ironed out. And then I played it for a day and I reported another 20, but that's besides the point. They're all fixed prior to release, and that's why I take the time to go play it. But I can't publish videos. I can't record videos. I can't do things because there's a chance at any time the game may crash. The game might do something unexpected. What I'm doing might not be in the final release in 4 days' time. So I don't spend a lot of time. Whereas I know Sai has said he's had access by going to their office previously. He'll probably get a beta test and be able to play it in a lot more depth than I will prior to release. Because he has time to beta test it. I don't have time.
That's the only thing working against me is I wouldn't have time to devote to beta testing it.
Yeah, and I
probably wouldn't.
Even if I had time, I don't want to play with at this stage of the game. At this stage, when they get to a beta test, things are not going to drastically change. They're not going to suddenly remove large features. They're not going to add large features. They're probably going to be at the stage of just testing for bugs. Will 2.0 be in early access? They said release.
Yeah, they're not going to do an early access.
Basically direct to stable without an experimental phase. So no, I imagine.
I guess with step 3 and 4 that at least, so you know how I've been calling every building a signature building for each planet. I guess that the systems behind that, because that's what the subsystems implementation, my interpretation is.
That's designing.
Those have at least been tested and proven to work.
Yeah, that's designing a new planet, a new concept for a new planet, a new biter for that planet, making sure all the concepts for that planet work to run through step 3 onto step 4. All right, so step 4 is actually getting all the things tied together with a loose piece of string, so it sort of works in a janky way, and then step 5 is actually testing it and playing it through, and then deciding
iterating and building up on it.
Yeah, and then deciding things don't work and go back. Yep.
Which means that the things like the JCB exosuit has probably already been concepted and prototyped.
Yeah, and they could use standing graphics. They could use standing graphics. That's the other thing. All right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Hostile Mars.
So a lot of these little things could be a lot more developed. There's just waiting on graphical development.
What's Mars?
Farts.
Hostile Mars.
And also, like, graphics was held up a lot by the rail redevelopment.
Hostile Mars. Hostile Mars is a factory tower defense. It's what Satisfactory you should have been in the early game when I first played it. Well before this, they used Fortnite graphics for half the things because it's built on Unreal. And they can do that. Just put in placeholder graphics because who cares? And
Satisfactory.
I don't think Satisfactory had placeholder graphics for much.
They used not Fortnite, their other game, Sanctum. They used Sanctum graphics.
For the critters, yeah.
And for a bunch of other things. I think some of the terrain, like a lot of the terrain, was recycled.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be Sanctum 3.
That debate's been out and gone for a long time. I'm not going to get into it. But yes, yeah. No, Factorio 1.2, 2.0 DLC expansion is going to go straight directly to release, no early access. The only thing they might be able to do, and that is because... Do they publish it on here? They don't publish... No, they don't publish on their blog how many reads they get on a blog post. No. So the only thing they could do is they could put up on the Factorio store to buy it early prior to it going Steam. And be like 2 weeks worth of early access. Store page. That one. Works and Resources also does a blog, Friday Facts, I think it's monthly, Oh God, Steam, why do you do that? Click a link twice. They put up a special report for the community, which I think March 16th. I disappeared. That's missing half of them. Okay. But they have a view count, so you can see exactly how many people are going to this webpage to read it. So this was March 16th. That was too much scroll. Feb 26th. So every 2 weeks. 26. There. And what did I say? March 16th. Okay, every couple of weeks, whatever it happens to be. Yeah, 3 weeks, once a month. Feb 12. Okay, it's all over the place. But reports for the community. Yeah, reports for the community. Okay. Yeah, they get like 30,000 views on their equivalent of Friday Facts. They got 6, but they get an awful lot of views on their Friday Facts equivalent. So they could do an early sale, but then Soviet Republic doesn't actually have a way to buy the game directly from them, unlike Factorio does. Factorio does have that feature. So they could do a early access soft launch directly through their web store. You still get a Steam key, and even if they hold the Steam keys for like 2 weeks till they officially release on Steam, they get an email with here's your Steam key, and in the meantime you just have the download from the webpage. That's fine. Lots of people would jump in. And yes, I have a habit of breaking games. Yes, I'm quite good at breaking games repeatedly. All the mods break and release. All the mods will break version code wise. Will they actually break? Well, we all know they don't often break, and you can just update the ini files to say, yep, we now work in version whatever, and they just work. But what game I'm playing now? I'm gonna play edit videos game. Sea Turtle. Because I have 3 videos to edit, 1 video to record, 1 thumbnail to put together, and also I want to no, not that one. I want to get a new intro done. Prior to Capital Industry coming out in a week and a half. I want to get merch done, but that's not going to happen. Getting a merch launch in the next week and a half is not going to happen because I'm not going to have artwork ready in time. That's work stuff. Streaming is also work stuff, for the record. Also got to run the Friday Facts. Blow off work and play some games. Funnily enough, I remember how people are saying I overspec the PC. That I can actually play games whilst working and rendering videos. Need to work iPad artist harder. At the moment, I'm just trying to get the child to go to school. Okay, I've set the bar really low. Really low. Like attend school. It's really the point I'm at. Attend school and pass the tests. And then I'll work out the other details later. No, I wanted to... I was just going to commission some art for merch. So iPads can do drugs at the same time. Well, date of the year to set the bar that low. No, it's. When the later years of schooling, that's when life gets hard.
You spelled deadbeat wrong.
Thanks. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Fuck you.
You said it was a low bar.
Yeah, but I'm not. The child's the deadbeat, or I'm the deadbeat dad, because you know.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Bad measure. No,
I'm not helping the cause for mailing the koala down here.
No, I'm not. You're not. No, I'm the one with sole custody of the kids, so definitely didn't fall in the deadbeat category.
Oh, it's
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I went through all the paperwork I did. Yeah. Yeah, anyone who lives in Australia has Mojo sent the address? No, he hasn't. No. Anyone who lives in Australia who knows how hard it is for a father to get parental custody, not just equal rights to have kids and see them weekends and all the rest of the shit, but actually have the kids live with you rather than the mother. Yeah, it went to great lengths. But I also need to find somebody to raid. And then tomorrow, I think, is Helldivers, which will probably stretch out into maybe some workers and resources. Also, yeah, sure. Also, so Helldivers, probably workers and resources. Also, I need to do a test stream to YouTube. Yeah. So if you're here in stream, you may get a secret link to go to a private YouTube stream. So I can test to see if it works. I need to know if it works. I can't get first housing infrastructure built in less than 2 years. Hank, watch the very first episode. I did it in a year. Ozzy's been doing both recently. You don't need to show us. No, Taco Bear. I thought it was the other one. You're the master, will do. Yeah, Hank, I did it. I did 3 play trials before I recorded the first video. I could get it done in 5 years and set up a town properly where I was happy with it and then move everybody in. And it was too long for a YouTube episode. I didn't just want to skip forward in time 5 years whilst I waited for the workers and everything from the border to get shit done. So I went back and I changed every plan to get people moved in really early, and then they give me local labor, which then gets the rest of the town built very quickly. I streams to Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok simultaneously. In theory, I can set it up in 2 clicks. That's not the hard part. The hard part is I want to have chat showing up on both Twitch and YouTube on the stream, which shouldn't be too hard. But on top of that, I want to have automated systems still be automated. So like we run ads here every hour for Twitch. I need to be able to hopefully find a way that I can automate the ads running on YouTube at the exact same time. So that way it all happens at once. Don't these people have fireplaces to survive a Russian winter? Oh my god, no they don't, Hank. No, that was part of... It was part of one of the things that the Soviets did. They went to a centralized heating along with centralized power network. It was more efficient. It's beside the scenes integration, yep. Thanks to you and Mojo, good stream. Well, Mojo survived. He didn't send me an address, but he survived.
Party provides heating, regardless of whether you need it or not. But you don't question whether you need it or not.
Yeah, I actually looked it up. No, they
knows best.
They provided centralized heating, and I read a report that was more efficient, energy efficient.
It technically was more efficient, but the systems were so poorly built and maintained.
Yeah,
it was like mostly lost. Apparently the streets where the steam pipes for heating were run, like there would never be any snow on it because there was so much heat leaking from it. And then I forget where it was, like Bulgaria or Romania, one of those sorts of countries, one of the cities there which had it, they would turn it on like at a set time in the year, and then 6 months later they would turn it off, and so you'd have heating in the middle of what was still hot weather.
Oh cool.
And then they would turn it off when it's still cold.
Oh, cool.
But the clock says turn on here, turn off there. So there you go. And so most of the time, like apparently people would just open all the doors and windows to stop the heat. to try and offset the heat.
They don't man the heater buildings regularly, but you need more people. You need more workers. There is a buffer put in there between the hot water tanks. Heater turn on when temperature falls below 10 degrees for longer periods. Here we have nothing centralized. Nothing centralized. Apartment buildings would be centralized. But even then, like, I don't know, because I've never lived in an apartment building like, you know, capital cities. Mojo obviously has. But even apartment buildings you find around here, which would be like, you know, I don't know, 40, 50 flats in a square box apartment building, lots of them have independent air conditioners.
They'll all have independent air conditioners. They'll all have independent water heaters. Everything. There is no... I don't know of any that I've seen
They don't
central anything.
Central heating? Central air for the whole building?
Maybe for the corridors and things, but most of the time they don't have anything for the corridors and such.
Oh, wow.
Only lighting. And fire sprinklers. That's the closest thing to water you have is fire sprinklers. to central water.
Yeah. Office buildings have central cooling. Yeah, but that's covered in your rent.
Yeah. Offices, commercial is handled differently.
Yeah.
And even then, you can have a commercial space which doesn't come with heating, and you got to do it yourself. Heating or cooling.
Yeah.
With permission.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. I had a problem with a flat we rented where they wouldn't let me put an air conditioner out the window because it was on the front side of the building, which happened to be the rear half of our flat. But that means people could see it from the joint driveway, and a air conditioner box hanging out the window would be ugly. And I'm like, but half the other places have them, and they have them because it makes sense because we live in Australia and it's hot. But their rear building and face the rear, whereas our face the front because, yeah.
I think you, at least these days, are entitled to renter compensation when they do stuff like that.
No idea.
There's a whole bunch of things that you can do now.
Yeah, the rental rules have
At
changed.
least here.
Rental rules have changed. They updated them in 2001. Because I've had to go through and deal with the real estate since 2001. I've had to read the new rules. The 1980 rules I had down pat.
I think the rules here are quite different as well.
Probably. Yeah, because the ones here in New South Wales only. All right. You said it's 22 degrees. That's freezing. No, it's 22 degrees Celsius. 2F.
22 degrees Kelvin.
C2F 22, is that the command? There you go, 71.6. All right, we're gonna raid Banlish. She's playing Supermarket Simulator, who I have heard nothing about.
Kind of boring.
What's the Celsius? It's a real temperature, unlike freaking Fahrenheit.
Fraction height.
Lucky leader, how you doing, mate? Tomorrow will be, like I said, Helldivers. An attempt at an experimental stream on YouTube, which I need to pre-configure, which is going to be fun, and then maybe work as a resource. I don't know, but it'll probably be about 4 hours worth of Helldivers, because Helldivers is graphically intensive, which is what I sort of want to do, because I need to do 3 encodings of the stream, one for Twitch, one for YouTube, and one for a local recording. So I'm going to test out the machine. All right, that's what I'm going to call it. Thanks for joining me. We'll be back tomorrow without Mojo. He'll go rest. Anyway, we're out, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. Oh, and YouTube. There'll be a work as a resource video today, sometime, as soon as I go do a thumbnail. Anyway, that's it. I'm out. Bye.